Welcome back, YouTube. I have a great video for you guys today. I'm going to show you how to build this little guy, which is a 65mm custom whoop build. It looks a lot like a Mobula 6 because of the canopy, but it is not. It is running Crossfire shot. You see the little mini Immortal T antenna on the bottom here. And I'm going to give you a breakdown of the components that I'm using to build these. I'm building about 4 of them right now. And I'm going to be selling them for $175 a piece, which is a good deal, fully tuned and all set up with Crossfire shot. You'll just have to bind it to your receiver, whether you're using a Tango or anything that has a Crossfire module in it. Okay, so for the frame, we are using the Newbie Drone Cockroach frame. This is the transparent black one. And you could tell the difference between the other frames to the Cockroach frame because it has a curved battery tray on the bottom, as you see here. And this frame is very durable and it's still pretty stiff. It takes a good beating. It's nice and light, and this is my frame of choice. Okay, as you've seen with the pre-built one I showed you, the canopy we're using is the Mobula 6 canopy. Nice and light and flexible and also very durable. I like it, and it also has a bunch of cutouts in the top so you could snake through your VTX antenna. Which brings me to the all-in-one setup I have for our camera, which I'm using the AKK all-in-one smart audio camera. It's a nice little camera, as you'll see in the video later on in the flight test. Awesome little camera. It has smart audio on it, and it's very easy to wire this camera to the flight controller. So the flight controller we're using is the Beta FPV, the version 2.1, I believe it is. Just the regular version 2. This is an all-in-one flight controller with no RX on it, so that's how we connect the Crossfire to the UARTs that you have right here. So that's pretty much everything in the build. I'm also running a GNB 300 30C 60 burst little 1S batteries. This is a 1S only board, so you cannot run 2S on it, but it runs just fine on 1S, so that's not an issue. Okay, and the props we're using are the Gemfan 1219 31mm, just little whoop props, pretty standard. It's got the 1mm hole for the prop posts. And finally, the last thing we are doing is we are putting the Zing Nano 0802s on here, which I don't have that box right now in front of me, and you really can't see, I'm sure, because it's so small. But these little Zing motors, they're really cool, really small. And Zing has been doing a fantastic job with their product quality. And I'm very happy with their stuff. So I figured I would give these a shot. All right, so let's get right to it. I just want to point out that I lost the first file of this build. I don't know what happened to it. So we're going to jump right into where I'm mounting the motors onto the frame. So enjoy. There'll be timestamps so you can see what parts of the build are showing what, and the flight footage and the tuning, and all the PIDs will be posted on the screen. Enjoy, guys. Okay, so like I said, nice and easy. Just finger tighten, just like I did right there. You've seen, and just like that, you know, it's done. So it's very tedious, monotonous stuff. So I'm gonna just do the other 3 off camera. And then we'll go with the flight controllers next. Okay, so now we have all 4 of the motors in. You see how they're all coming towards the center of the frame. The inside, like I said, very good. So now the next thing to do is we are going to drop in the flight controller. Okay, so now I pulled those wires out. I twisted them up. Okay, twisted them, get them out of the way, make them nice and neat. And they're going to plug straight into the bottom of the flight controller, which you see right here, which is going to be just like this once it's in. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, I changed the pigtail because I'm not going to sacrifice all my batteries that have the pH connector on them for the sake of a connector. So when I get to that portion of the video, I'll leave a timestamp to skip ahead when I solder on these pigtails. But that's an extra step I have to do. So if you plan on using the PH 2.0 connector, it comes on the flight controller stock. So that's one thing you don't have to do. I did this off camera because most people aren't going to be doing that. I changed my lead, and I'll solder on a 90-degree PH 2.0. Excuse me, yeah, PH 2.0. So if you guys are interested in that, then watch through. But if not, I'll leave a timestamp so you can skip through that. All right, so it comes with these grommets and all the screws to connect. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect the grommets. They're universal, so it doesn't matter which way, up or down, they're the same. So just stuff them right in there. Okay, nice and simple. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now there's two ways you could do this. You could start soldering before you put this in, or you could solder it while it's in. I like to solder everything while it's in, so I could see how I'm routing all my wires, and I just wired up the wrong. I just put the grommets on the wrong flight controller because I have two of them out at once. This is the one we're using. This one is for my second build, which I'm doing off camera, just to have two of them. One breaks down in a race, I have another one. Alright, so the grommets go right in there just like that. Nice and easy. Just pop right in, doesn't matter which way. Alright, and this is all the hardware for that. Just push these over for now. Get a good view for the camera. Alright, and pay attention to this battery tray. It has to be vertical. It doesn't matter whether you mount it this way or this way, because it's a symmetrical frame, but you have to make sure that your flight controller is in the same direction. So this is the bottom with the plugs on it, so we're gonna flip this over like that. We're gonna run this through here, okay, and we're just gonna press it down nice and light. Okay, so this is what you have when that's in. Okay, so I left myself plenty of extra lead here for when I solder this on. I'm going to shorten these considerably because I'm using a 90-degree connector. So that's pretty basic. Now, what I like to do at this point, just to keep everything nice and locked down, is I will put in at least 2 screws into the frame just to hold it down. Hold down the flight controller. It's 1. Here's 2. And now we can get to the soldering point of this whole thing. Okay, so I grabbed the battery tray just so I have a nice stable surface to work on. Okay, I'm gonna move the camera up a little bit, just make it a nice shot for you guys. Hopefully that's good. All right, I'm gonna spin this around so the front of the drone is facing away from us. All right, so this is 5 volt. This is S5, which I believe is for your S-Bus 3.3. Ground, TX2, RX2, and S-Bus. Okay, so this is the S-Bus. I don't know what this S5 is. I'm imagining that's signal. I don't know. Once I look it up, I'll tell you. It's probably something really simple. I just don't know. Okay, so now on the bottom side, you got the positive negative leads, which are already connected going down. Okay, then you have 5 volt, ground, VTX, camera, and TX1, UART1 smart audio. Okay, so this is pretty basic. So on this camera, I'm going to show you how the wiring diagram goes. You got video out, video in, ground, black, and this is your smart audio. And then obviously you got your positive and negative here. I don't know why they colored these the same. It'd be easy to blow this whole thing up if you made this your power and ground, but I guess with this on the right, it's kind of self-explanatory. So like I said, VTX is green, camera is yellow, then you have your ground and your UART. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these two grounds together and send them to the common ground. That way it eliminates a little bit of interference. And we're going to start wiring this up. So it looks like, yeah, it's looking like we're going to have to cut this canopy. So I got a bunch of them. So we're going to do a little trial and error here. And we're going to see. But I'm thinking snip this like this. Just to give a little play for this antenna here. Okay, so I'm going to send this through. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, so now, well, we're going to have to do better than that. Okay, so looks like we're going to cut a line out right here. All right, so I think that should do it. And nope, we're gonna have to do one more. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Okay. All right. All right, there you go. That's nice. All right, so this is going to be secured in with hot glue. That's how I like to do this. Just a little dab just to hold it in place. And that looks pretty good, actually, just like that. Because this is going to be a racing drone, so... Right, somewhere like that. That's good. So, now that we have the camera in, let's bring our drone back here. And what we're doing here, the goal is to see how much wire we need here. And we're going to be somewhere in this area here. Okay, so what we're going to do is, let's twist these up. Okay. This is somewhere over here. That's good. Okay. That's good. So we're going to snip these right about here. Leave yourself a little extra. But not too much, because every fraction of a gram counts here. Alright, so now that that's done, what we're going to do is we are going to get our little hand here. Bump this up so you guys can see. Okay. And now, one by one, pre-tin these. Start by stripping this off. Nice and easy. Jacket. There's one. Be very careful when doing this. 2. Oh. 3. And 4. Okay. You have to be very careful when you do that, because these wires are so small. You'll cut right through it if you're not careful. I make that point in all my videos. If you guys watch, follow along. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to turn on our soldering iron. Going to pre-tin these. Okay, we're ready to go. I got one of my smaller tips on, as you see. So just one by one. Just 10 these. Okay, and the last. That's all, nice and simple. Okay, we're all set up now here. And as we mentioned earlier, let me just do this, point it out. 5-volt ground, middle one is VTX, and the middle right is your camera, and then the far right is your smart audio. So we're using all 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the bottom. Okay, now these 2 top ones that are filled in, remember that's your computer connection. So do not solder that. Be careful not to bridge that. It's important. Otherwise it will not, you'll burn your flight controller out. It won't work. So we're gonna pre-tin this. I'm gonna do it with the tweezers. Somebody mentioned in my last video, build video, that my hands get in the way a little bit. So I'm gonna try to make it a clear shot for you guys so you can see. All right, so going from closest to furthest. Okay, let's add a little bit more right there. That looks good. The ground pad isn't full all the way. Okay, be careful that you don't bridge. See that? That's a bridge. When you get a bridge, just swipe it away like you just see me do. Very simple. So this tip is actually a little bit too big. I have a smaller tip than this. That's good. Okay. Now remember, our 5-volt and our ground are going to the left. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this ground out, pull it to the side, just like that, and have these wires all the same length. So this is what we're shooting for. We're going to cut off the extra wire right here. All right, about there, I think is good. Okay, and just strip those. And what we're gonna do is we are going to, this is the ground right here. We are gonna put the 2 grounds together. As one. Just like that. Okay, so once you have those 2 wires together, what we're going to do is we are going to solder them together. First we give them a little twist like this. Okay, and then with your helping hand, just grab them. Let's bring this in view. Hopefully you guys could see that. Okay, so you see how much easier this is now? Once you get the wires twisted together and you're not fiddling with them and holding them, you know, then you have 2 free hands to work with. You just tap it, give it a nice amount right there. Okay, so now that that's done, the first wire we're going to do is the 5-volt. 5-volt is right here. So let's do this. Let's get this out of the way. Oh wait, this is not pre-tinned. Okay, so let's just pre-tin that. Let me clean the tip. Alright, so we're ready to go now. We're going to put this in. First, we're going to start with the 5-volt wire right here. Angle it towards the front a little bit, just like that, because that's the way it's going. Apologize for the noise in the background. Okay, and just, oh, missed it. Tap, just like that. Okay, so that's on. As you see, very nice. Next, we're gonna go for the ground. Ground one is the biggest wire. This is gonna be the most difficult, okay? You wanna come in and out as fast as possible. Keep this as neat as possible, just like that. And that's really nice. We got nice solder, first shot right there. And it's not touching anything else, that's the important thing. Okay, next is your VTX. VTX will be your green wire, which is right here. Let's bring that around. Okay. Here's your green wire. And that's a little bit long, so I'm going to trim that just a touch. Oh, hold on, that thing's falling down over here. And whenever you trim, try to trim away from the board or off the board so you don't get a little piece of metal stuck between two contacts. It'll be grounded before you even get up in the air. Okay, set yourself up. You see, that's just about right. Okay, like that. Boom, and that worked out perfect. Okay, so we're lined up here. That looks pretty good. There you go, that works out. And last but not least, you have TX, which is right here. Oh, this is the RX wire going to the TX pad on the flight controller, and that also looks a little light, so I'm going to add a drop of solder right there. Okay, so we're 3/4 done with this build already, and it's been about, I don't know, 20 minutes. So this is much faster build, as you see, than a regular drone. A lot less going on. So I'm going to fast forward. I'm just going to take off this flight controller. See how short that is, right? That's like, I don't know, maybe a little less than 1/4 of an inch. That's how short they are. So super short. But the shorter the better. If you guys don't want to go that short, don't. You know what I mean? Because this makes it extremely difficult to work with, but it also makes for the neatest build and the least amount of weight added. So that's why I decided to go this way. Okay, so you see how little of a jacket we have on there. Okay, I'm going to twist this up. We want this to be nice and tight. First thing, make sure your board is secure. I don't even know if this would be possible without a vise, honestly. But if you're feeling brave, give it a shot. At least like this, anyway. Okay. There we go. Okay, black is in. Next we're doing white. We'll come around this way. Okay, don't forget to set your wire up. When I say set your wire up, bend it to the direction that it's going to make your life easier when you are soldering. Okay, I'll turn it this way, touch. Bend this just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Come on, red, get out of there. Okay, next. Okay, It looks pretty close. Come on, get through. There you go. It's white. Next, yellow. Well, before we do yellow, we're going to do red. Just pull that red wire through. There she goes. Okay. Okay. There's your red. We are going to just angle you this way. We're gonna have to trim that a little bit. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so notice how I'm not using any fingers now. I'm using my scalpel and my tweezers because that's how small this is. This is like micro surgery here. So this is not easy, guys. This is probably one of the hardest solders I've ever done. So you know, this is expert level. If you were gonna attempt this, you're probably better off going to the top if you don't have experience, because this is very, very, very tough. There we go. Gotcha. Okay. Now the next one is gonna be yellow, and that will be the last. White, yellow. Yellow will be here. Okay. Let's go right there. Gonna snip that a little bit. Can't see. Okay. We'll cut a little more. That's pretty good. Okay. Now you got about 1 millimeter sticking out right there. And that's going to go right there. Okay. Oh, the board moved. Okay, we're going to inspect this. That looks pretty good. Which I can't believe. That was tough. That was tough. Whew. Okay. If you guys are still with me, I am very impressed. So now we are done soldering. Last thing we are going to do is slip this heat shrink over the top. Okay. Same thing, we're going to send this through like this. Okay. Plug this in like so. Okay, now very gently, be careful when you're handling this. We are going to heat shrink that. Let's back this up a touch. Okay, so now that that is done, we are going to fold this up like this. Okay, now you see how it's nice and neat underneath, soldered on with no extra wire whatsoever, which is exactly what we were shooting for. And it's nice and clean on top. So if you could do it this way, I would highly recommend it, but it is not easy. As you see, that is about as micro soldering as you could get, with the exception of replacing resistors on a circuit board or something like that. So there you have it. All right, so let's screw this thing together, and we're gonna give it a nice little flight. On a Mobula 6 canopy, there is no front screw that connects. It's only the other three. So this screw goes in, which will hold everything in place, which is nice. Okay, nice and snug. Now we are going to twist up these wires, nice and gentle. Okay. Like that. Okay. And it looks like we are going to have to cut a release for this BTX, which is fine. That's totally fine. We don't want this to be binding on anything anyway. So these crafts are so light that, and this canopy is so nice and flexible, that will be just fine doing that. I'm gonna have to put a little sponge or something just as a buffer. That's what they do on a Mobula 6 as well. So I'm just going to drop that in there. Get it in there. There she goes. Alright, there we go. That's nice and stable. Okay, so there you have it. That is starting to look really, really, really nice. Okay, so we got our antenna in the back over here. And it looks like it could get caught up in the props if we don't secure it down. So we're gonna hot glue this like this, right there, just like that. And that is legit. I like it. Okay, now that our hot glue is heated up, what we're gonna do is just place this antenna right about here, and this is gonna add a fraction of a gram of weight, but that's okay. I'm gonna hold it in place for that to dry. Okay, that should be good. Now let's do the other side. It's held pretty good, so just a little bit. All right, so that holds our little baby Crossfire antenna in place. And tell me this thing ain't looking sharp. Look at this little guy. Awesome. Little Zing motors on there. Crossfire shot. Smart audio. Nice little better FPV. It's a sick little drone, man. Looks cool. So this is like the Ferrari of Mobulas right here. Even though it's not a Mobula at all. It's just has the canopy. But you know what I'm saying. It's got that little 65mm sleek look to it. All blacked out. I like it. Looks good. Okay, we are back at the computer. We just did a test flight with the stock tune 3.5.7. I'm about to update to release candidate 2, 4.2, better flight, 10.7 configurator, and put the Jesc and RPM filters on it. So first we're going to flash the Maytech F4 firmware, Gonna load it. I am in DFU mode. We're gonna flash. Okay, we have now successfully programmed the flight controller, so now we are going to connect, apply custom defaults, and we're going to let it load. And now connect. Now with the new configurator, you have to calibrate your accelerometer first, so we are going to just stand it up as level as we possibly can. Okay, that looks pretty good. We're going to reset the Z-axis. That looks pretty close right there. Calibrate. And there we go. Okay, so gyro looks like it's working correctly. In the ports tab, we have UART1 is serial RX. That's wrong. UART2 is serial RX, and UART1 is VTX Smart Audio. Save and reboot. That's the first thing we do. Okay, next we're going to go to configuration. All right, we are going to turn on bidirectional D-shot. Oh wait, before we do that, I'm sorry, disconnect. The next step, since we have 4.2 on here, is we are going to go to the Jesc configurator. Okay. Okay, this is the newest version of the configurator. At the time of making this video, this is 1.2.8. I already purchased the licenses and I am connected to the computer. Battery is plugged in. Reading setup. This takes a second. Okay, now that that is on, we will flash all. Hit flash all. We will pick the version we want. We're going to go for the recommended for whoops, which is 48 kilohertz PWM, RPM on H only. Okay, we're going to click that. Flash. Okay, and as you see, it's going to flash through each one. My motors are already in the direction I want, which I'm running props out, so I reverse 2 and 3. And everything is working as you've seen in the first test flight. And the first flight, we got 2 minutes and 30 seconds average flight time. As I mean, I crashed and restarted in the video that I showed you, but on a regular flight, just cruising around, I was getting 2.5 minutes flight time, and I was getting heavy oscillations when I was falling into my prop wash, which is very common with whoops. Happens all the time. It's any ducted craft, they handle differently. They have a different thrust vector, so I expected that, but I wanted to test fly first on the provided firmware to see the difference between the Jesc and RPM filters as opposed to how it comes stock. So once this is done, we're going to do another test flight and show you my PIDs. Okay, now you see that they're all activated. The next thing we do is flash all telemetry. Telemetry version, same thing. We're going to do telemetry service D-shot telemetry 2.3, and that is what we are running. 2.3. I'm pretty sure Jesc 2.3. Is that what we're running? I didn't even look at what we flashed. I'm going to cancel that. Okay. And I am going to read setup real quick. Okay. Oh, it's 2.3. It says it right here. Okay, very good. So flash all telemetry. I'm going to go 2.3. D-shot and flash. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, it's all done. So now, when you're done, you should have all 4 ESCs reading with this, with telemetry activated and license 2.3 if you do what I'm doing. So we're going to disconnect here. Okay, you heard our change in tones in our arming. So I'm just going to disconnect this battery. Okay, that's done. And now we are going to go back to BL Heli. BL Heli, here we are. Okay, wait for this to go back to COM5. There it is. Connect. Okay, ports is done. Configuration is where we're at now. Now we're going to turn on bidirectional D-shot. Change this to 12. Okay, we're going to lower this to 5. Okay, there you go. Pit loop frequency is at 4. I don't know why. Should be at 8. Okay, but the gyro update stays, it's locked in now with 4.2. Alright, we're going to change this to 180. 180. Craft name, we are going to make this cement 65. There it is right there. That we're not touching. S-bus, we change to Crossfire. This we leave off. Okay, source field, telemetry, air mode, that's all right. Save and reboot. Okay, next we go to power battery. This gets set to 300. Okay, save that. Fail safe. Make sure I set the drop. That's good. Pin tuning. We're gonna leave these stock for now. I'm gonna leave this all stock right now. Okay, rates. I'm gonna put my rates in, which is 1.01 across the board. Then we're gonna go 81 across the board, which brings us to 1060 degrees of rotation, which is what I prefer. 81. And my expo we will set to 26 across the board. 26. 26. Okay, this is what I run on pretty much all of my craft. I fluctuate between 23 and 26. The whoop I keep it on 26 because it's much more responsive because of the ducts. Okay, now this has changed a little bit. We keep 3 and 100 there. This we bring to 0. This we bring all the way up to 300. I could have just erased that and typed it in. It would have been a lot faster, but I was already committed. And we're going to change this to... bring this to... I guess we'll bring it to 75. If it lets me. Sometimes it doesn't let me. Nope. Okay, so dynamic notch Q. Alright, so we're going to bring this up to 350. Bring this to 150. Let's see if that works. Save. Nope. Lowest that lets me go is 200, so that's fine. Okay, filtering we're going to leave like this. We're going to do a little test flight. Receiver. Let's see how we're doing with the receiver. Let me power on. Okay. Throttle's good. Roll is wrong. Yaw and pitch. Okay, so yaw and roll have to be reversed. So we've got to reverse R and A. So as we see here, it's AETR. We're going to have to change this to RETA. RETA. Okay, save that. Okay, now let's test. Throttle's good. UR is good. Roll is good. And pitch is good. Okay, very good. Like that. That is correct. Okay, modes. Arm is going to be aux 1 in the middle because I like my middle switch. That's good. Let's allow. Angle at range. We're going to make this aux 2. And we'll put this here. Horizon. We're going to add range. We'll make this aux 2. And we are going to put this here. Okay. I'll say if OSD disabled, telemetry, FPV angle mix. We're going to add range. And put this in angle and horizon. Okay. And we're going to also set that to aux 2. Ugh. Okay. Camera control, nothing. Flip after crash, add range, and we're gonna make this aux 3. And this will be an actuary switch in the back. Save. Let's hide unused. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, I like it. Let's just test right here. Good. Okay, aux 2, aux 3, good. Angle goes on with both, and flip after crash is accurate. Let's just do this because I have OCD, and that does that. Okay, next is motors, and this is what we want to see. How our RPM filters are working. So let's plug in. Okay, everything went to 0 as expected. Okay, let's say we know what we're doing. And we'll spin nice and easy. And everything looks good. Okay, the only thing that is wrong, which I just realized, is I forgot to reverse my motor direction. Okay, very good. Okay, so now that is correctly reversed. We are down by the motors tab, and everything looks good. So let's say we know what we're doing. Very good, looks good. No errors, that's what we want. So let's unplug our battery. Next is OSD. OSD, we're gonna turn on our screen right here. And I see I have nothing here. It's because it's set to auto. Switch it to NTSC, and that should help us here. Okay, battery current drawn. Put this on the bottom over here. Okay, craft name goes on. It's gonna go on the bottom over here. Okay, voltage over here. It's armed, it's coming on. We're gonna put that here. Okay, slide this over just a touch. Looks good. Okay, flip back the crash arrow. Yeah, I gotta put on right here. Okay, let's see. RSSI, dBm value, like that. We're gonna put that here. Okay, timer. Put the timer here. All right, and what are we missing? We are missing timer. Oh, this is good. This gotta go here. And battery voltage. Battery voltage will go here. Like it. So we will save that. Very good. Video transmitter. It's working correctly. We are gonna load from file. Okay, desktop, everything drone. VTX 2.1. Let's open that. That looks good. Okay. 100 and then 2500, and this value will be changed to 200. 200. Okay. We're gonna set this to race band 7. All mine. Power we're gonna put to 100. Low frequency off. Low power disarm on. And save. Okay. Let's test that in the goggles. Okay, so you see here in the goggles, we are gonna go to race band 7, and look at that. We are right on the money. Beautiful. Okay, like it. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. What else do we got? Well, one thing I did not like was my RSSI value was wrong. So let's go back to OSD. I set the wrong one here. RSSI value should be RSSI value. That goes here. And save. Okay, that looks like we're good here. Black box. Debug bar, we have no video chip, so we have no data chip. So we are done. Disconnect. All right, let's go for a test flight. Okay, I just bumped up the filters. I bumped up the PIDs. I put them to a pretty much 1-to-1 ratio, which is what I'm pretty much used to. I haven't done it on 4.2 yet, which especially the release candidate, but let's give it a test, see how it is. And I bumped up the feed forward a lot too. So now she should really fly better. Oh yeah, beautiful. Oh yeah, now it's really responsive. Oh, this thing's cutting now, baby. Look at that, no prop wash at all. This is a whoop. Look at that, wow, unbelievable. It's amazing what Betterflight could do. Look at that, no prop wash at all. This is a whoop. I'm still getting crazy voltage sag though, but look at that. I can't believe how there's no prop wash at all. Amazing. RPM filters are amazing. I just love them. So there you have it. Perfectly tuned in one shot. Just going by what I usually do. Thanks, bud. They thought it was a bug. You heard that? That's awesome. Yeah, so this thing is fucking fantastic. Look at this. Awesome. I love it. It's so much fun. I can't believe there's zero prop wash. This thing's flying like a 3-inch drone. I can't believe it. It's so awesome. I'm getting a lot of voltage sag though, but I think my batteries are just shot. You guys watching this? So here's an official Crossfire shot. Little tiny whoop. Oh, so you know, let me show you my PIDs real quick. All right, so this is the PIDs I settled on. You see 1-to-1 ratio, P&D, 71, 71, 85I. Feed flow is high, 135, then 78, 78 with I at 90, and then you have 77 and D is at 0 with 135. So that's my PIDs if you guys are interested. That was literally first shot, first test flight after customizing the PIDs. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Ciao.